Hi, welcome back to our Trauma Healing Podcast. My name is Joy Given Joki Muturi, and today we are going to talk about grief. And with me, I have two facilitators. We have Reverend Jeremy and Jane. So, Reverend Jeremy, hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, Joy.
How have you been since the last time you were here?
I'm well. I thank God He has taken good care of me.
Yes.
And I'm excited about our today's engagement.
Of which today we are talking about grief.
Sure.
Jane, hi.
Hi, Joy.
How have you been? Like we were with you the last time was the first episode.
Yes, I have been well, and
Yeah.
I thank God for this space. The Lord has been good to me.
Oh, thank you. Welcome. So, our able viewers, last time we talked about how can we help people who have been traumatized, and we talked about you can be a good listener to them. You can help them to seek people who will help them. But today we are going to talk about grief. So, Reverend Jeremy, I want to understand what is grief?
Well, Joy, the way we understand it
Yeah.
in very simple terms is grief is mourning.
It is mourning, yeah.
And we can also say that grief or grieving is a feeling of deep sorrow.
Yeah.
A feeling of deep sorrow that is occasioned by loss. And this loss is not the way maybe we are socialized, that
Yeah.
we grieve only when we lose a loved one. But the grief we talk about in trauma healing is when you lose someone you love and care about, and something of value to you. So anytime I lose someone or I lose something, I enter grieving. I start that process of grieving.
So, Jane, I would like to ask you about grief and understanding of grief. Is it immediately when you lose something or it comes after?
Joy, I think when we are talking about grief, we are talking about that place, what has caused the grief. And like we'll see later in there, as we are discussing, we'll see there's a place of the crisis where the person has received the message of what is making them grieve. So once you receive the message or it has happened, that's how the grief journey starts. And like we will explain later in this discussion, we will be talking about grief as a journey.
As a journey.
And that's where it begins.
So it has a place where it begins.
Yes,
The loss or losing
Yes.
someone or something.
Yes.
Okay, so Pastor Jeremy, what is the grief journey? Because she has said it's a process, it's a journey. So where do you start?
Good. Exactly where Jane has just mentioned, at that point of loss.
Yeah.
That's when the crisis happens. You receive the news, you hear that this and that has been lost, or you come to learn that probably that job is gone, that business is gone, that property is gone, or maybe so and so is no more. When that place where the crisis happens or the news come or one get to learn about the loss, that's where the journey starts. And in trauma healing, we talk about 3 stages, and in layman's language, we call them villages. 3 villages. And the first village, immediately after the crisis, is the village of anger and denial. Loss comes with anger.
Yeah.
When you receive the news about the loss, anger is...
And can it be also your health, losing your health?
Exactly.
Because I'm thinking maybe you've gone to the doctor and they've told you, I think you have this and that. Could it also be a part of loss?
Yeah, Joy.
Yeah.
Including loss of body parts.
Oh, yeah.
Or even body function. For example, you had your eyesight.
Yeah.
Something happens, you lose your eyesight. Or as you have put it, you had your good health.
Yeah, you were healthy.
Up and running, but you start feeling not okay. Go to the doctor and the tests are done. Then you receive the news that takes you to the crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Grieving journey starts. As I was saying, anger, and then comes in denial. whereby you start fighting with that sad reality.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, whereby you're told so and so is normal. And you're like, what are you talking about? I have just talked to them over the phone. They have even replied to my text. What are you saying?
They have even posted right now.
Exactly, I can see like a few minutes ago. What are you talking about? So denial.
Yeah.
You where you hear people saying, so and so cannot be dead. I cannot lose that property.
Yeah.
My job is secure. I can't lose it. Denial.
Yeah, they even tell you.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not even sure of who you're talking about. Yeah. It's not the same person. Yeah. And what else, like in this journey, in this time where someone has bitterness and anger, what do they do at this point?
Well, as we are saying,
when
someone is angry, definitely they will talk like angry people. Mm-hmm. So they will express their anger. And they may be angry with God.
Yeah.
They may be angry with the person who has died. They may be angry even, like, for example, if it was a case of this person was sick, they were being attended at the hospital.
Yeah.
They may be angry with the medics and probably look for someone to blame. Maybe they accuse them of negligence.
Oh, yeah.
Because of this anger. They are looking for someone to blame.
I think, and there are also people who also withdraw.
Yeah,
in terms of they are angry and they are facing denial at the same time. So they will tend to withdraw from the situation. And Jane, I wanted to ask you, like we were using the example of someone is sick, for example. So you find you end up maybe losing your job because of the finances that comes with the sickness and everything. So you lose everything. So after denial and anger, what next?
Thank you, Joy. And I want to pick it up from where Pastor Jeremy has left. Yeah. So we are moving on this journey of grief where we had the crisis. Now we are denial and anger. From there, if you're able to weather the challenges of denial and anger, the next step is the village of no hope.
Yeah.
And the village of no hope, we like saying that is the darkest place in this whole journey of grief. That's where people feel the sense of hopelessness. They don't know how to pick the pieces. They don't know how to move on, and that's where the struggle is. Remember, at this time, if it is a person who has died, they are already buried by this time.
They are buried.
So, and our African way of handling things, we have already moved from the home and our lives have moved on.
Yeah.
But this family or this person who is grieving, they are now left in that space. You don't know, where do I begin? Think of a case where it's the breadwinner who has died, and this other spouse who have been left. They don't know how to begin. Children have to be provided for. School has to go on. How do I move from where I am? And that's the place where you find people thinking even of suicide. Where people think of ending their own lives, taking revenge, feeling bitter with everybody and anyone around, feeling a sense of neglect. Like I am saying, if you're in a family setting, the brothers or the sisters, their lives are moving on, and you're wondering, they don't think about me. No one is coming anymore. Even the pastor who used to come every day now is not coming. And there is that struggle, and we are saying that's the darkest place. That's where people actually need help, to be held their hands so that they are able to move slowly towards finding him.
And for how long can someone be in this village of no hope?
Well, Joy, it may depend on individuals. Case by case, they may not be so similar, but the research has it that between 6 months and below, one may be in this stage.
6 months and below?
Yeah, 6 months and
that's
below.
the average.
That's the average, and you find that people are different because we all don't mourn the same way. We mourn differently, and actually we also do acknowledge that there are different ways of mourning. People don't mourn the same way. But in terms of how long one will be in a village or in a stage, again, it may not be the same. The way we mourn differently, all of us, the duration we take in a particular stage may not be the same. But then, bare minimum, 6 months and below.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And Reverend Jeremy, apart from denial and anger and then to the village of no hope, is there any other village?
Sure. Well, we talked about 3.
Oh, okay.
So Jen has talked about the second one of no hope.
Yeah.
But then that one takes time, and it also takes intervention.
Yeah.
And as we are talking about these villages, the transition is not automatic. It's not like papa.
Yeah, like purpose, because I'm imagining 6 months. Hey, okay.
Yeah, it's not like automatic, instant, and yeah, it takes time, and it, as we have said, it also depends on case by case.
Yeah.
However, that village, we call it the village of new beginning. This is the place or the space where this person has found healing. They have gone through trauma healing. They have gone through the process where they have actually processed that grief, pain of loss. They have, as we say in the language of counseling, come to terms with the loss,
Okay.
When they get to that village, they are able to start again.
And at this stage, I'm wondering, do they have people to hold them so that they can come to new beginnings, or it's just them?
Sure.
Yeah.
You find that trauma healing introduces, do I call it healing space?
Yeah.
Whereby we even encourage people, if you are going through grief, even find a group.
Yeah.
We call it healing group.
Oh, okay.
So you see there, you are not journeying alone.
Okay.
You are with people, and you are with a facilitator. We call healing group facilitator, who is journeying with you, who is helping you, even providing a shoulder to lean on, sharing honest information, and helping you gain honest understanding of what exactly is going on as you are transitioning from one stage to another. So yes, people, and especially trauma healing facilitators
and the groups,
exactly, and the group, that space where you are with others who are helping you, transition from these stages, and even process the grief, really plays a major role.
Let's say, Rev, I'm in my new beginnings. Can I go back to anger and denial? Is it possible?
Yes, like we have just said, it's not an automatic.
Also, I can go back and then come back again.
And that's normal.
Oh, okay.
It's perfectly normal.
Yeah.
By the way, someone may transition well to the village of new beginning, but they are triggered by something. Maybe they passed by a hospital where maybe that's where the loss happened.
Okay.
Or they receive a message, or they watch something, or they smell something. And
it's a trigger. It reminds you. Okay.
They are triggered, and they find themselves way back to village 1.
But it won't feel the same as it used to.
You see, there is intervention happening, and healing has also started. Okay. So they may not feel exactly the same. However, Joy, you may not rule out.
I'm really trying to think. If I'm in my new beginnings, it's not supposed to hurt as much as it used to at first. Yeah.
Especially if someone has been helped to gain honest understanding. Of what is happening. They may not feel exactly the same. However, we may not rule out the possibility of feeling exactly
the same. Because, Jen, I'm thinking there are people, when they lose something or a crisis has happened, this village of no hope, is it possible for them to stay there for the longest time and never come out of that village? Because I know of some people who maybe they lost someone or they lost something, but their lives were never the same ever since. Like, nothing ever changed about them. They were just stuck. Like, let me say so. So is it possible for there other people who will never come out from this village of no hope?
Yes, Joy.
Yeah.
Yes, it is possible that somebody can get stuck in one village. Again, it will depend on do you have support? You have talked about support. And what we encourage is that when somebody is going through pain, it's good to have support system. Support systems are the ones that help us to gain resilience and feel we are at a place where we are not alone.
Yeah.
One of the things that we say in grief is that grieving is a normal process.
True.
That's one thing that we need to affirm people and say what you're feeling and going through is not just for you. It happens with other people, so it's
Yeah.
a normal thing. So even this sliding back is still a normal thing.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
find someone is around 60 years, for example, Rev, and they're still blaming their primary school teacher. Why it not for teacher so and so? My life would have been different. So we wonder, you never recovered from primary. You're still talking about your primary school teacher.
I will actually
Yeah.
tell you, Joy, that I have encountered a case where a lady got stuck. Now, I'm the one who was processing it as they got stuck. But when they are giving their story 8 years after their husband had died, and they moved to the neighborhood I am in, and they are talking about the way at night, there are some nights that they feel very lonely.
Yeah.
And at times the mind just goes wild and they are looking for the person in the house.
In the house.
In the house.
Yeah. 8 years on, somebody is telling the story
Yeah.
and tears are coming out afresh like it happened yesterday.
So
And
they've never moved on.
Pastor Jeremy has talked about triggers where those emotions will be triggered by
Yeah.
something probably you are used to this person was doing, and you don't know how to go about it, and you're thinking, and I've heard this a lot of times, people saying, if Baba so and so was here, this
Yeah.
wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
We also know in our African setting there is a place where probably the woman would be blamed for the death, or you are completely forsaken by the family. And so they are feeling, if my husband was here, the brothers would not be turning against me in this way. So there are many things that happen in that space that can bring back the memories and regrets and feel like, God, why
God,
did
why
this
at this
happen?
time, yeah.
The others would be like the other trigger that would trigger us to get back to stage that we have already come through is burial or death of somebody. You know, if for example a mother has lost a child, or a young person, or you know a child, and then you hear your friend has also lost a child or something like that, you will go through that experience of your
It's
friend
like
as
you're
if it
reliving
is
it,
yours.
yeah.
Yes, you're reliving the feelings, the emotions that you went through when you encountered your own loss. So it brings back the memories of how you felt, and the pain comes with it. I can tell you at times the pain could even be more intense than it was then. Yes, so there is a lot of sliding back, but all that we say, grief takes a lot of time to process,
True.
and it is a lot of work.
It's a
lot
journey.
of work, it's a journey, and people need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jane. Reverend Jeremy, I wanted to ask you, what makes grieving more difficult?
Well, there are quite a number of reasons, Joy, that can make grieving more difficult.
Yeah.
As Jane has just said, even without talking about anything else, grief by itself,
It's difficult.
it's difficult.
Yeah.
It takes time and a lot of energy. But then there are other, cases that can make it more difficult.
More difficult, yeah.
Number one, if there is no corpse. Let's say someone lost a loved one, but there is no body to bury. There is no closure, so to speak. That can make that grieving more difficult.
Or maybe you didn't attend that funeral.
Yeah, so there is no closure.
Yeah.
Then number two, if it is the death of a child or a young person,
Yeah.
you know, this vibrant, promising soul, then the next moment they are not there.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, that kind of loss
Yeah.
can make grieving more difficult.
Like the breadwinner or something.
Loss of
yeah.
a breadwinner. This someone is the one who was running a family,
Yeah.
being depended on, but now they are no more there.
Yeah.
That can make that grieving more difficult.
True.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
And there are so many other factors.
Yeah, because I can categorize yours with the type of loss, maybe.
Yeah, the type of
the
loss,
type of
yeah.
loss. It also depends. What else, Jane?
And when we are the type of loss, we could also talk about many losses around a short span of
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Where somebody has lost a parent, they have lost a job, they have lost their
A child
health,
at the same
they have
time.
lost their marriage,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have lost. So all those things really
More like a
compound the
recurring
grief.
loss.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they compound the grief process, which may be very hard to really process. The other things would be like our cultural setting.
Oh, yeah, culture.
What we believe in terms of weeping.
Yeah.
If you live in Africa, you know that
If you did not
it's
weep,
said-
Jane, either you are involved in that. Yeah.
Yes, and also this notion of men don't cry.
Yeah, men don't cry. Unless, Rev, you tell us, do you cry?
Julie, we have tears.
Yes,
I'm just
Like
it's
joking.
a very
Yes.
strong
Yeah.
belief in our society that men don't cry.
Yeah, it's our
Yeah,
culture.
yeah, that is our culture. We could also talk about miserable comforters. And I can tell you, Joy, we
yes.
have many
That's
miserable
what we were saying,
comforters.
Percy, when we were here. At least you didn't lose 1, 2, 3. It was just
Yeah.
the people who sympathize with you instead of empathize with you.
Yeah.
They're the people who will tell you, oh, you've lost your job. At least you have a shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, at
Yeah.
least
You're still alive, yeah?
You're still alive. At least you have 2
It
children.
could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse. What if you lost everything?
Yes,
Yeah, you
and
still
there's-
have insurance.
There is some sort of a cliche that is going round that it is well.
Oh yeah, it is well.
Oh, what is well?
We will
What is
pray
well?
for you.
And you know, we are quick to open WhatsApp groups and say, let mom rest in peace. God will give us another child.
No, actually, they say God loved them more.
Eh,
Yeah, they say
eh.
God loved them more. So you're
Yeah.
like, so me, I didn't.
Yes.
What do you mean? So yeah, that's part of our culture. So
Yeah.
how can we help each other to grieve now? Now that we have learned how difficult it can be to grieve, but now how can we help each other?
Well, there are many ways,
Mm-hmm.
and especially us in our setting,
Yeah.
I would say we are endowed
Mm-hmm.
with many ways of
Yeah.
helping people who are grieving. You find that number one, we are encouraged to pray with them.
Oh yeah.
Because they are in a space where really even at times pray.
You can't
becomes
utter
very
a word to
difficult.
God. Yeah,
Maybe
true.
you're already angry with
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Probably he could be one of those you are struggling with.
Yeah.
Like, God, where were you?
Yeah, where were you? Why
Yeah.
have you been silent?
Yeah,
I've
like
been
now-
praying.
Like now in Kenya,
Yeah.
and it applies in many parts of the world, whereby you know what has happened,
Yeah.
and many people have lost jobs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so many people in their thousands.
Yeah.
Because of what has just happened with the coming in of a new government in the
I
United
think also
States.
I see not
Yeah.
even just losing jobs. There are people who've never gotten an opportunity. Should they also grieve? You know, there are people they have been searching and searching, and they don't have an opportunity. So
Oh yeah, so that can also be part of it, Joy, because probably they are there and they're asking themselves, what is wrong with me?
yeah, I am
And,
learned.
yeah.
I have every qualifications.
and
Yeah.
I've been applying
Yeah.
and seeking, but you find that is not happening. So you find that you had asked me, how can we
Yeah.
help?
How can we help?
And I had mentioned praying, mentioning about people right now who are breadwinners,
Yeah.
but they don't have a job at the moment. They
Yeah.
have been sent on, unpaid leaves, and they have been told we are not even sure
Yeah. When
about
you're coming back.
if you'll ever come back.
Oh.
So praying with
Yeah.
with people, when we watch such, when we hear of such, praying with people in our setting here
Yeah.
in Kenya, We have had issues to do with abductions.
Oh yeah.
And at times we get to hear that people
Ever
were found.
searching, yeah.
Yeah, and they were found dead. Others have never been found.
Yeah.
So just saying a prayer, if we can even encourage them,
Yeah.
if we can reach out to such people, if we know where we can find them.
True.
That's a way. That's a.
It's a way we can help.
It's a profound way of offering help. And then another thing I like about our socialization is that, especially if it is the case of death, we do visit the home.
Yeah.
We go with the consumables. We carry milk. We carry sugar.
Yeah. We're comforting our culture.
We carry tissue paper. I mean, we don't visit empty-handed, and that's also a way of help.
Oh yeah, it does help by the way. So Jane, how can we help? Giving us your final remarks.
There are many ways to help, Joy, like what Pastor Jeremy has mentioned, but also there is listening to their pain.
Listening to their pain.
Yeah, just,
even if they want to just keep on repeating the same story, it's okay.
And I can tell you that really helps because we work on a principle of the English statement that says a problem shared is a problem half. So if you do that math, when they talk the first time, half is gone.
Yeah.
When they talk the second time,
another half.
The half of the half is gone.
A half of the half.
Yes.
Okay.
So by the end of the day, they are releasing the emotions from their hearts. So we say it is important to let them talk about what they have gone through. Don't just listen to the story, listen to the pain. And they'll be able to tell whether you are listening or not. That can be very helpful.
They'll change the story.
Or feel like you're not
listen.
offering any help.
Yeah.
If you hear somebody's story 1, 2, 3 times, then it means they have already trusted you with their story.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and the other thing is, by the end of the day, help them to take their pain to the cross of Jesus Christ. Because by the end of the day, the Bible says that's where we take our burdens. Yes. And there are many others. Just visiting. You remember Job's friends visited him when they had the calamities that had befell him. They went and they did a good thing. That they went and sat.
But
they listened. They listened for 7 days. Joy. 7. Day and night just listening to Job lamenting.
Another way we can help people is through a lament, like helping them to write a lament.
Yes. And lamenting, and I talk about this with a lot of passion because I know we have been brought up being told you can't ask God a question. Unauliza Mungu maswali, you are asking God questions. No one will answer you.
Because it's more like you're telling God, this is not fair. It's not fair. This is feelings.
And nobody in the Bible knew how to lament like David. David knew how to pour out his pain to God and tell him all sorts of things. How long, God? For how long are you going to be quiet? For how long are you going to let my enemies triumph over me? And it's a great way to release the emotion. I mean, tell God how exactly you feel. Of course, you will not receive an answer back, but you will have poured your pain.
That's
and like we are taught, God is a faithful God. He's a listening God. He will come through. The Bible even says He feels our pain when we are going through it. So I think lamenting is a great thing. And I can tell you, in course of doing this, people have appreciated that place where they feel they are free to talk to God about their own pain. Because our cultures tell us not to. God is handled with care. Nobody is a father. He's willing to listen. He's willing to. And he's not far.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you. I really love this conversation today. But I think we'll have to close it at that until next time, Jane and Reverend Jeremy. But before we close, Reverend Jeremy, do you have your final remarks?
Well, what I can encourage people out there is that help is available. They can reach out to us at Bible Society of Kenya. I know you'll be talking about how they can do that.
Oh yeah.
But let people rest assured that please don't suffer in silence.
Oh, yeah.
Reach out. Help is available.
Yeah, and if you get an opportunity to listen to someone's story, even if they repeat the same story, please listen to them. Yeah. And Jane, so where can they come for help?
Yes, Joy, like Pastor Jeremy has said, help is around. We are here at the Bible Society of Kenya. We are just a call away, and I know you are going to share our contacts. There is always someone to talk to. We also would encourage church leaders and organization leaders who would want us to do this program in their churches or their organizations. They can still reach out to us. Then we can have a conversation so that this movement of healing is spreading with speed, and people are getting healed and they are living up their purpose in God. So we are around. Get in touch with us. We'll get to talk and see how we
Okay, actually count on our prayers. So till next time, our viewers. So next time we'll be talking about taking our pain to the cross. So make sure you don't miss it. So you can find us at our social media platforms at Bible Society of Kenya. Till next time, bye-bye.